Hello, hello, and welcome, my Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your twin flame reading for August, September 2020, or timeless whenever you're supposed to be watching it. I am your host and your reader, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, of Virgo's sun sign, the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but your dad just calls me Mal. And these twin flame readings, I won't say they're taking their toll on me, but they are really pushing it. These are something else. I got to tell you, the extended reads, I'm glad I agreed to do them. I didn't want to. I was reluctant. It's a lot of work. It's 24 readings in a week's time, but they're pushing me. And they're really good. They're really good. They're tricky. They're turbulent. Everything a twin flame relationship is supposed to be. These readings are certainly true to form, so it's my honor to do them. And the extended reads, if I have to say, it's been weird in the general reads like that I'm doing here for YouTube. It's like, oh, I'm not so sure if this is romantic sexual, and then you go into the extended reads, you're like, oh yeah, because I use a different deck. I'm using the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack to help clarify some stuff. So let's get down to business. My subscribers, thank you so much. Just wanted to share a little bit from Virgo to Virgo, the process, right? Thank you so much for your love and support, for subscribing, for liking, for commenting. All of it helps other people see the work. And our twin flame contracts are really important that we sort of, I don't want to say nail them, but complete them, fulfill them, because they're helping to accelerate the spiritual awakening of planet Earth. As one of us heals, all of us heal, right? So why not in our relationships? Twin flame contracts, very different than a soulmate contract. Soulmate contracts, you help each other heal. They're lovely. They're satisfying. They don't necessarily have the zazazoo of a twin flame relationship, but like a soulmate, they're not all sexual relationship. A parent can be a twin flame contract. My father certainly was. My mother, definitely a soulmate contract. So I had one parent twin flame, one soulmate, but all of them came here to help me learn how to love myself. And in soulmate's case, you help each other learn. So get the difference between the two. It's good to look at what the contract is that your soul agreed to, and that's what these readings do. We'll be doing divine feminine on this side, divine masculine on this side. You're going to have to suss out who you are, because you may think you know the relationship this is about. It might not be that relationship, right? It could be a family member, because you have more than one going at one time, particularly in the world that we're in right now. So suss out who you are, kind of feel out divine masculine or divine feminine. We're different vibrations, more yin than yang in some relationships than others, but it has nothing to do with biological gender or gender preference or anything like that. I myself consider myself a divine yin, a divine feminine. I'm an empath. That's what I do for a living, right? Other than that, just focus on your breath. Try and stay in the present moment. Take what resonates. If it triggers you, pay attention to it. That's a resonation. It's just a negative resonation until you, ooh, sometimes the truth does hurt. Just pay attention, and I will do the same. I will stay focused on my breath. For us Virgos, try and stay here and now, not too much time traveling, because I don't know if I'm going to be in this read or not. I'm a Virgo, right? So we'll see how it goes. We're going to start with 2 Caroline Myss archetype deck cards, as I usually do with these contract-based readings. All the decks that I read are in the description box below. I think that's about it. Let's see how this goes. Breathe. From one side of the brain to the other. Here we go, from yang to yin and back again. Oh, my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, for this Virgo, just help me live through this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for August, September 2020, or timeless, whenever the Virgo is supposed to be watching this, or the cross watcher, or whoever. Please, I need 2 cards, one for the divine feminine and one for the divine masculine. Who's party number 1 and party number 2 in this contract? Please, our divine feminine, please just leave it in my hand. Thank you. And one for the divine masculine, please just leave it in my hand. I'm so, because I usually know just by looking at the archetypes in the cards if this is my song or not that I need to dance to. Keep in mind, these are supposed to be triggery, right? Half the card is the shadow attribute, stuff you don't want to look at, push back, don't want to admit, but that's the stuff you get to heal within yourself. The other can't help you heal, but boy, can they bring it up in you, right? Which in a way is helping you heal, but not in the way that you want it to, right? The light is what you're shooting for. So who do we got here? Oh no, I can relate to both of these. We've got the gambler, the divine feminine gambler, and the divine masculine hedonist. Now, honestly, if this were reversed, I would know exactly who and what this was about, but it's not. So I'm going to go with the way it came down, because then I'm definitely more the divine masculine hedonist, because I relate to the hedonist more lifelong. But the gambler, I am not unfamiliar with. And it's, remember, archetypes can be there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? So a particular situation, a reason, a period of your life, right? Like if, like from maiden doesn't make it to mother, shows back up again in crone, you know, like something like that, like a reason, a season, or all the way through what's called a kairos archetype. No, chronos archetype. Completely got it backwards. So the divine feminine here is the gambler, the shadow attribute, relying on luck rather than hard work. That part of the gambler I don't really get. Even when my family would go away on vacations and there was ever a casino, they would give me money and I would go to the bar and drink it, right? It was just never my thing to throw away money that way. It's not in me. I'm a true Virgo that way. But the light attribute, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. See, that's a Virgo gut thing, like right there. Like how much of your intuition really is here, ruled by what? The intestines, which is what, it's not the prettiest organ, but a really essential one, essentially. Follow your gut. But remember, both of these people could be Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever, maybe one of them. But the divine masculine we're looking at here, I love the hedonist archetype, but its shadow is pretty damn toxic. Pursues pleasure to the detriment of health. I've done it. I've done it. SD, R, and R. Figure it out. Indulges at the expense of others. Been there, done that. Have the burnt concert footage. Light attribute inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself, and absolutely, I can relate to that. I mean, I am a Dionysus archetype. It's just like create maintenance wherever I go, or they were there. I just had to, I guess, walk by. I don't know, catalyst, call it what you want, avatar of Dionysus. So, I mean, I can relate to both of them. But thankfully, those are not the only cards on the table. We got 18 cards just for this spread. We're going into a lot more in the extended, I have a feeling, on this one. But just for a little bit more clarity, who is the healing angel walking with each one of these? Because they're not supposed to be able to help each other heal. That's a soulmate contract. This is a twin flamer. So let's see. And by the way, a hedonist and a gambler, nothing screams romantic about that at all, right? But we'll see what else comes. Let's see. Who are the angels that walk with them? Breathe. My angels, my celestials, probably my Urielites and my Arielites, please. Two cards. Who are the angels that walk with this gambler and this hedonist individually? Even though it's all one for this Virgo collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for August, September 2020, or timeless. Absolutely. So for the divine feminine first, please just leave her in my hand. Yep, there's one. For the gambler, and for the divine masculine hedonist. Came out pretty easily. Who we got here? Well, interesting. We've got the angel of abundance with the gambler. So the angel that walks with the divine feminine here is one of abundance. Remember, abundance essentially at its core means extra. So, you know, you can say I have an abundance of a-holes in my life. I have an abundance, you know, it's a neutral word essentially, but we mostly think of it in terms of prosperity and abundance, and probably some financial risking going on here with the divine feminine. And having to really believe perhaps in themselves and in their gut despite what's going on. Now, what's odd about that, because the Virgo is of course going to take the financial situations into consideration in a relationship, certainly, but when there is an excess of, right, when there is an abundance of, there tends to be such a generosity, but that's where the gamble might be as well, with the sharing of physical resources. Or, you know, other forms of symbolic, abundance. It's just what I mean. It's like, it's different than prosperity. Prosperity means to prosper. It's the Roman name of the goddess Persephone, Proserpina, right? The prospering one. So it's an interesting gamble there. It's either about money or the sharing of money. There's a risk. There's no question that there's a risk there. But here, with this hedonist, we've got the angel of music. So we could get what the angel of abundance does, right? Helps somebody with abundance see the abundance they already have. But the angel of music is really going to help you dance through a certain song in your life, if you are the divine masculine hedonist here, right? To kind of go with the flow and find the groove and do what you got to do in this one. I mean, the hedonist is, to me, it's the opposite of the martyr in a lot of ways. It's like, rather than suffer, let's just try and do the best that we can here. However, the temptation, of course, is going to be in terms of bypassing pain, bypassing suffering, through any number of external things as well as internal things that can sometimes just repress rather than help alchemize. That's a nice way of saying it. Some of the lead to gold there. Be very, very careful about the sex to drugs, the rock and roll, the SD, R&R, as I like to see, because that ain't rest and relaxation afterwards, but hopefully you get some of that too instead. All right. So we know who they are, but let's go even deeper. We're going to get 5 Daughters of the Moon Tarot, Fire, Earth, Air, Water, Spirit, and 5 Mythic Tarot, Fire, Earth, Air, Water, Spirit, for the Divine Feminine Gambler and the Divine Masculine Hedonist, respectively. We're going to get all 10 of them on the on the table, and then we will turn them over element by element at the same time. You'll dig it. Breathe. Oh, my goddesses, please. I need 5 cards for this divine feminine gambler archetype who walks with the angel of abundance. And I have to say, that's feeling very Virgo, right? Coming into Virgo season, this feels very, very, very Virgo, but with that risk being taken, please. Element of fire, what does this gambler want in this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract, August, September 2020, or timeless? What is the earth that she has to get what she wants? What is the air that is her predominant thought about it? What is her water? Her predominant emotion, feeling, intuition on it. And what is, most importantly, the card of spirit, the soul, the point of view or the voice of the soul who agreed to this twin flame contract between this gambler and this hedonist, August, September 2020, twin flamer, or timeless. This is a lot. There's a lot of vibe going on right there without even knowing what those cards are. Whew. Empathy for fun and profit. Let's do the same with the Divine Masculine. This way we'll get them all on the table. We'll have a little bit more fun flipping them over and see how they compare and contrast with their elements. Breathe. What, you think I haven't done this with somebody I'm dating? I do this with everyone that I'm seriously dating. It's like me, them, center lane, right? Absolutely. What, you think I don't use this? Of course I do. Breathe. I'm a Virgo. Please, my gods, Dionysus in particular, you could not be more represented than that hedonist archetype with music. Why do I hear pan flutes and drums in the distance? Oh no, the Ren Fair is coming to town, please. My gods. 5 cards, I will pull them one at a time for this hedonist, divine masculine hedonist archetype, walking with the angel of music in this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract, August, September 2020, or timeless element of fire. What does he really want? Really, what lights his thrisis up? What's his element of earth? What does he have to light that fire, to feed the flame? What is his air? What is he thinking about this predominantly? What is his water? What is he feeling? Is there any juicy in there in that hedonist? And most importantly, what is the card of spirit, the point of view or the voice of the soul for this divine masculine hedonist archetype? He feels lovely, by the way. I'm sure he's a gentleman when he needs to be. even if it's a she, because remember, this isn't about bodily gender. This is about soul power and archetype, and I'm here for it. Big time, Virgos. Ready? You guys really ready to rock and roll? I don't know, gird your loins, right? Cross your legs like we do, Virgos. Let's dive in. Element of fire. The divine feminine wants 6 of pentacles. The divine masculine, king of swords. Now that's very interesting, because the divine feminine is, can we just balance this out and make it fair and move into the next stage of it, right? Success under handicap, all right? There's definitely a rolling of the dice here. Wants to kind of, I don't want to say get by the skin of the teeth, but to really move this forward and to break through obstacles and handicaps and things of the past, right? Things of the past to really, so it's not just, wanting success in just some kind of physical manifestation, which there's that too, but really wanting to have the motivation to really succeed in this contract. But what the hedonist wants is actually to pull back. Now this is the Libra card, the King of Swords, right? Wanting this to be fair, which is odd for a hedonist, right? But I get it. There might have been some inequities going on here. Well, they're twin flames. What are the chances, right? You need some shit to throw in the furnace to burn is what makes good fuel. So really, that Libra thing may very much want this relationship, but wants it to be fair, wants to really look at it through a very balanced way. Now, what they have in common, 6s are numbers of balance, and we've got the Libra card. So they're not that far away from what they want, but it feels like the hedonist, oddly enough, is going element of air here. Really, perhaps might have gotten burnt. Might have some suspicious terrain here. Now, like I said, this isn't obviously immediately a romantic sexual thing, but wanting things to be fair and decent is a wonderful thing to want, and wanting to overcome in a balanced way to gain more momentum in a contract, in a relationship in general, not a bad thing. Let's see what they have to make it happen. Their element of earth. Well, that's interesting. 8 of Flames, the 8 of Wands, a great passion. Great passion here on the part of the gambler, no question. Wanting the fast action, fast motion, let's do this. I mean, the opportunity would, I can understand, wants to move it forward in something that is, you know, balanced, but the passion to do that, the draw, the attraction, the desire to communicate that fire. But what's interesting is what the hedonist has is half of that number, the 4 of Flames, which is kind of more like more stable, more like a hearth fire, right? More like, okay, we made it through the 3s, we're not quite at the 5s, which are, you know, the challenge, the training, the action that needs to be taken. But this is Jason and the Argonauts. We arrived. Next is getting the golden fleece. So let's set up camp and let's like relax a little bit and let's unpack and you know, people have given the 4 of Wands so many different interpretations. Like, since I started watching videos on YouTube about tarot, I'm like, really, the 1111 card? I mean, I see it, but I don't know that that's what Pamela Coleman Smith had in mind, but I'm like, OG tarot, right? But I get it. But in this sense of what it is that they want, they're really wanting a little bit of a restful time here to kind of like take a break. Not that they're saying, get the hell out of my life, but it's like 2 different speeds, right? This is, let's say this is 100 miles an hour, this is 50. That's a nice way to do it. You gotta round it up to 100. Keep the percentages clean, please. That's why if my readings or anything I do, I charge $100 an hour. I'm worth it, and just the math is easy. Want to be a 3-hour party? $300. A half-hour reading? $50. Keep it simple. Keep it sunny. Keep it funny. Keep it gay. What are they both thinking here? Well, the divine feminine gambler here is actually being rather critical of thought. In the mental part of it. So there's no slacking on the mental energy here. Here we've got the 9 of Blades, most often depicted as not being able to sleep at night, right? Thoughts pointed inward, at least in terms of these arrows, right? Plagued with thought. Now, it's not the 10, it's not the resolution, but the word criticism means different things in different contexts. Like a critical care unit, they are watching every heartbeat, right? Every fluctuation of blood oxygen, or I should say blood gases, right? The chemistry, just the whole 9 yards. When someone's on critical care, right? Critical thinking, critical thought. It's such an important thing for Virgos because it's what we are. Yes, we are critical. I just said this to somebody the other day. Yeah, I think I said this to Mal Flanders, our friend here that I collaborate with on YouTube. I said to her, it's like, but that's the thing, we're Virgos, we could teach her stuff, you could just do that one little thing, it would be so perfect. It's like we are perfectionists because we see in a way holistically, but then can also go in and find the little tweak, which is why I edit all of my videos with a beginning and an ending and a middle, and because that's how I roll, right? So that takes attention to detail. That's why it takes me forever to get these readings out, sometimes with technical glitches. But so we thrive on that. So the gambler, this is a calculated gamble. This is a gamble that might be keeping them up at nights, right? Like maybe they took a risk to get what they wanted, and they're trying to like come back around to bring balance to this situation, to this contract, and it feels like the divine masculine hedonist wants something fair too, but is willing to kind of sit back and say, that's okay, you take your time, I got plenty going on my feast, if you will, because in their mind they're seeing this, I want to say, it's kind of sort of done, or at least a cycle of it done. You know, if this is a family thing, right, if this is parent and child or sibling or what have you, then it can be like, well, that stage of our relationship is over, that's done with. We can maybe come back around again, but if it is, it's going to be done fairly. It's not going to be this complete pouring out of the chalice of one to the other in quite the same way as it was before. I mean, I know that's hard in a parental relationship, but at a certain point, you carry those who can walk, their legs wither. Just saying. What are y'all feeling about this? Because that's what you're thinking. What are you feeling? Interesting. We've got the Libra card here. And here's the Libra card here. So Scotty the North Wind in the emotional place here is really kind of feeling. Now, of course, if there's any Libra influence going on in the relationships, look to that stuff too. But my sense is that this person, this relationship is in their heart. That's the tricky thing about twin flames. They can't give you the love that you want, but that doesn't mean they don't love you. You have to learn how to love yourself in the way that they can, and that can be very tricky in a romantic sexual sense, obviously, right? So what's underneath all of that? There's a huge shadow lesson here from both of you, right? That's why the archetype cards here, it's like there may very well be, if you're the divine feminine gambler here, hard work involved here in this relationship to get what you want to balance this. It's not going to be so easily handed over because for the divine masculine, we've got the high priestess. So there are some secrets going on here too, and there's a deeper intuition at work here as well. 2 major arcana cards here, no major arcana cards here so far. I'm going to say the hedonist might be the one more leaning into the deeper intuitive, feeling this thing out, getting guidance and grace, maybe not completely being able to explain what it's all about. It's the high priestess. It's a mystical card, trying to find the balance between severity and mercy, the 2 pillars, right? Very Kabbalistic, if not point blank Kabbalistic tree of life being the middle pillar of the high priestess in this, but therein goes that balance as well. Look, I have no doubt these 2 people love each other, and I can see this playing out as both brother, sister, parent, child, as well as lover, ex-boyfriend, ex-wife, what have you. And the 2 of you really have a good time together, but it's fire. There's no question. You have fire for each other. It's just, I don't know. We're going to keep going. Let's look. What is the voice of the soul? I said the most important cards in this spread are the spirit cards, point of view or voice of the soul. And we've got Volcano and 2 of Flames. There is no question. There is unfinished business here. There's unfinished business. This is a twin flame that must continue, in my opinion, because, oh, the soul is just saying, honey, it's Pele time, right? Take all of that stuff you are feeling inside, take the risk, blow your top, but in a creative way. Yes, are there going to be challenges? Sure. Are there going to be obstacles? Yeah. Do you even feel conflicted as you're doing it? Yeah. But that's okay. They're not so sure either. I should say, as if only the Divine Feminine Gambler here was the person watching this reading for the Hedonist as well. They're really unsure. Their soul is saying, take your time. Do not rush into this, which is kind of the good thing about where we are on planet Earth in this history. I mean, if you're going to try and find a silver lining, it's like, well, no sense in rushing into a relationship since unless you have your paperwork from your doctor ready to show me. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Interesting. Like I said, this could very easily be found. Look at me. I'm like crossing my solar plexus, girding my intestines, my chakras here. Really, really feeling, particularly with this High Priestess here, that the Hedonist is just following on faith what they are feeling their way through this, and is totally okay to just like hang out and wait and rest while they let this play itself out. It does feel like it's the gambler who's going to have to take the risk, and it feels like they're going to have to do it soon. Because this might not just be anger, right? We think of the volcano blowing its top as anger. That could be Kundalini, there could be sexual energy, there could be creativity, it could be all of that, and a side of very, very, very lava-burnt fries. Now we know who our participants are, our plaintiff and our defendant, if you want to go there. Partner number one, partner number two, our divine masculine, our divine feminine. Let's build the center lane, shall we? Using one of the two new oracles that I got, the Kuan Yin oracle, for the divine feminine, but the center lane is about now the contract itself. Here's person number one, here's person number two, here's them, and the contract that they've sort of agreed to, at least for this part, really on a soul level. Intellectually, right, from the point of view of the personality or the ego, which is not exactly the same thing, but it's all connected. Just be like, why in the world would I agree to that? Well, the Pele and Two of Wands. There's definitely fire is a part of alchemy. Heat, at least, right? Heat, pressure, and time. Breathe. Now, if you can envision the pink smoke of I Dream of Jeannie, that's how oh, it's just so instant. Hello, Kuan Yin. Blessed Kuan Yin. As a mystic, I'm glad I have very simple symbolism, very easy to remember, especially considering what Archangel Michael's is, but we'll get there in a bit. Please. Please, Kuan Yin. Your help, your assistance, your guidance, your grace for this gambler, this divine feminine gambler, who's walking with the angel of abundance. I mean, that Six of Pentacles really feels like that there's good stuff here for them, or at least within them. And this hedonist with music, I mean, this kind of feels very lovely, but there's just a lot in between them. So please, can you help them? Oh, my beloved Kuan Yin, Bodhisattva of compassion, goddess of compassion, please, one card in clarity for this twin flame Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract, August, September 2020, or timeless. Enter the Jade Temple. Well, okay. Now, I would think the Jade Temple would have to do with the heart, right? With the heart chakra being all jade green and all that. Well, let's see. We're going to enter the Jade Temple. I just got this. So there's a lot in here. All I'm going to do is read like sort of the description, the thumbnail, divinatory thing to catch the whiff of it. And then there's a prayer at the end. Otherwise, there's paragraphs and paragraphs that we won't do. Get the oracle. It's lovely. So these are all different faces or aspects or pieces of guidance from Kuan Yin. Enter the Jade Temple. Kuan Yin in her temple of peaceful jade causes all conflict to elevate to higher peaceful resolution. Okay, so there's a resolution available here, but through divine feminine energy. A resolution and healing of any situation that is occurring, that is concerning you, is already underway. Oh, okay, so it's saying that this print is itty-bitty, teeny-tiny. So a resolution and healing of any situation that is concerning you is already underway. Okay. I mean, it's a twin flame contract. They all have to resolve one way or another. In fact, you are being asked to begin to feel the relief of that resolution now, so you can more readily receive the divine solution and blessings of peace from the beloved Kuan Yin when it arrives. Sorry, that was a fast interpretive visual. Well, and okay. So that is very much the risk for the gambler, that somehow with all this abundance, that all of this is already underway in healing for both of them individually, but what is the result of the relationship here? Let's see what the prayer has to say. Prayer of the Jade Temple. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. I am peace, I am peace. Om Mani Padme Hum is praise the jewel in the lotus. I am peace, I am peace. May all beings know deep peace and blessings of beloved priestess of peace, Kuan Yin. May the heart of all conflict be resolved in the Jade Temple. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Not a bad mantra. We're going to get you another one anyway from Matt Kahn, but there you go. So there's something about a conflict being resolved here. There it is from the Divine Feminine. But there is something about knowing that it's already underway here, that there is a timing mechanism in place. As I kind of pull back and look at this, sure, what you both want is fairness and balance in this. That can happen. But are you already working on healing yourselves? Because your healing is already underway. Now, I'm going to say with the Divine Masculine here, that would make more sense because they're kind of seeing that, at least thinking of it's like, you know, you can say, oh, I think the world of this person, but they're seeing that there has to be a completion, a something here, an ending of a cycle, even if there is a beginning of the next. But also might be very secretive about their feelings. There probably is not a whole heck of a lot of communication going on here between these people, particularly with the energy of conflict. And honestly, that conflict is being shown right here, at least there in the Five of Flames. But this is a conflict that is a creative one and is forcing them to heal. So let's go to the next one, the Blue Angel Oracle, the Archangel Michael deck, which I love, which turns the party. Oh my god, all of a sudden you're in this totally higher dimension of the Twin Flame contract. And just like you have the pink smoke of Jeannie, Barbara Eden, I Dream of Jeannie for Kuan Yin, the blue smoke of her sister, also named Jeannie, which must have made Thanksgiving tricky, for Archangel Michael, except it's a little bit darker. Like, go real, like, cobalt blue on him, shall we? I love him so much. Here we go. I'm allowed a certain irreverent connection with archangels, considering my name is Mark Angelo Lyons, the Archangel of Lions, but your dad just calls me Mel. Oh. Do you hear my cats? They're like, row. Come on, boys, I feel it too. I think Archangel Michael might have stepped on one of their tails by accident. Please, my beloved Archangel Michael, please, one card in clarity, serious, for this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. What is your clarity? How can you help them? We've got a gambler here. I still can't tell if this is wholly romantic, sexual. Nothing here is screaming it, but definitely there's a conflict here that more love and more compassion can heal, and apparently that's true for all of them, but it doesn't feel like there's much going on between them in terms of any physical contact. So please, your clarity, your guidance and grace, Archangel Michael, please, one card in clarity for this gambler and this hedonist in this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame contract. August, September 2020, or timeless, fingers crossed. How? Light ship Earth. I mean, I know what it is. It's Earth sign Virgo. Light ship Earth, personal and planetary healing. Yes, witch work. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm telling you, our twin flame contracts are our way of healing ourselves that contribute to planetary healing, because the differences between two twin flames is like the differences between two nations, between two races, to whatever. It's all holographic. Oh, fun, cool. What number is this? Please, let me get out my monocle, my magnifying glass. Number 40, I think that is the teeny, itty bitty, tiny kingdom. And on their wedding night, the princess found that the prince, Lightship Earth, we came across it just in time. Personal and planetary healing. Now, you know I love me some Archangel Michael. You saw that energy ripple through me. The earth is a living consciousness which is currently being flooded with higher vibrational energies. Duh! Look what we're going through! These very same energies are also flowing through you. Being that unity, consciousness, in being aware of this, you will be better able to integrate these new energies. Keep an open heart and mind, and you will see this time as a joyful one. Perhaps in retrospect. Well, and I can see the hedonist being in that and the gambler shaking the dice, hoping that's true. Do not allow yourself to be drawn into the fear that exists. This is a time of personal and planetary healing. Rock on. You and the earth are moving towards higher states of awareness. Imagine the earth in your mind's eye. Done. Send love and light to everyone, to everything, every blade of grass and every atom of light. I have to say, that's very Virgo. Like, that's a service that it doesn't matter what sign you are, but just to... like, hug the earth in your third eye. See, I don't mind people saying love and light if they actually take the moment and the breath. Do you know what I mean? And actually, love and light, love and light. But to actually still it all for a moment and transmit. Send yourself love. Send love to your friends and family. I get what you're saying, Archangel Michael. And to those who have passed away. Wish them all a happy return, for we shall all reappear in the future. And though this time will never come again, it will also never cease. Oh, he's so mystical and mysterious, that Archangel Michael. And here we have sort of like a poem affirmation-y kind of thing. And that my soul embraces you this hour, and we affect each other without ever seeing each other. And never perhaps to see each other is every bit as wonderful. And that the moon spins around the earth and on with the earth is equally wonderful. And that they balance themselves with the sun and stars is equally wonderful. That's Walt Whitman. One more time, now that I should have really buzzed through it first. And that my soul embraces you this hour. And we affect each other without ever seeing each other. And never perhaps to see each other is every bit as wonderful. And that the moon spins round the earth and on with the earth is equally wonderful. And that they balance themselves with the sun and stars is equally wonderful. Walt Whitman. Light ship Earth. The interconnection of all things, but also says to me right now, these people are not together. But that they're healing individually is helping. Well, I mean, in the quantum, we're all helping each other heal. That makes us all soulmates. Really, it is ultimately just one soul. Just the different souls are manifestations, holographic quantum tweaking here and there, like the difference between a liver cell and a brain cell. Basic same, at least atomic material, right? Energetic material. It's just the variations on a theme, I suppose. Very, very interesting read. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. That'll all make sense in the larger picture. I mean, because that's true of everybody, right? That's not just true of this only relationship, but that Virgo is about health and occupation. What are you focused on? Sixth house stuff. Like, what are you occupied with? To enter the Jade Temple, huge healing available here. Breathe. As we turn now to the higher selves of all involved, perhaps my own included, because this is general enough where I could see myself in it. And who the other person might be if this were flip-flop the other way around, like I said, but there you have it. So please, the higher selves of all involved, the whisper of love, a piece of clarity, guidance, and grace, a piece of information, inspiration, or insight for both this gambler who walks with the angel of abundance and this hedonist who walks with the angel of music. Gonna probably be having a much better time over on this side of the table, feels like. In this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Twin Flame contract, August, September 2020, or timeless. Please, right from the Akashic Records, right to my hands, put the card in my hand. What is the whisper of love for this contract? Show simple acts of kindness. A simple act of kindness can energize you and bring happiness to those around you. There has to be action between the two of you to at least move to the next stage. It's not done. It's not done. I can feel it's not done. The divine masculine hedonist is thinking about it being done, or at least a stage of it being done. All right, we completed that part. Let's see what happens next, right? What's the next chapter? But someone's got to show a simple act of kindness here. Even if it seems like the act of kindness would be to walk away, and that's not what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing here some unfinished business that needs to be healed, but the healing needs to be done as a twin flame contract would be. You heal what's on your plate. If this is a family relationship and you're all in the same house, jinkies, just try simple acts of kindness, like giving each other space. And if it's not that, reaching out in simple, not overwrought, overthought ways, which is like asking a Virgo to do that. It's not the easiest thing in the world. We're gonna think about it. We're gonna probably, but do you need to Nine of Blades it, right? If you're the Virgo gambler here. One more card down, then I'll pop up the picture. This should be some interesting extended reading, because you get at least 6 other cards, right? We do past, present, future. We cross decks. We do you'll see. I always we'll put a preview up, so you'll see. I explain all of that. So let's get your healing mantra here from the Ascended Masters. The only ones that haven't really spoken yet, although technically Kuan Yin is considered an Ascended Master, as I think is Archangel Michael, but it depends on, how does that work? Are you an Archangel and an Ascended Master? Multidimensional beings, man. Breathe. Archangel Dave's not here, man. Please. My Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contract Law, please, really, go right to the Akashic Records here with this one, please. What is the perfect healing mantra for this gambler and this hedonist and this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Twin Flame Contract, August, September 2020, or timeless? I'm not feeling particularly resonant with any of this myself, so please, just work through me, pick the right card, leave it in my hand, the perfect healing mantra for these two. August, September 2020, or timeless. Liberating love. I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give. Womp womp. Just when you thought it was safe, right? No, it does feel like a balance can be brought here. I don't know. I just wonder if this is one of those weird-ass twin flame contracts that ends up being soulmate. Course of true love never did run smooth, which to me is kind of becoming what a true love really, at least the romantic kind of it, is the one that's just like hell on earth to manifest, but eventually it works itself out and happily ever after. Liberating love. I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give. Maybe. It's a good mantra for that, though. When love is liberated, your heart remains open to all the gifts that life has to offer. So not just in this contract. It's a good thing to remember, right? Enter the Jade Temple, that there is a choice for healing here that's already underway. As love is liberated from the emotional wounds of the human condition, it becomes easy to accept, forgive, and receive. Well, blessed be. If that's what the lesson is here for both of you individually, then may it be so. When such actions seem exhausting, it's simply a sign that your heart doesn't feel safe enough to remain open. When this occurs, your will's freedom to embrace each tender corner of your consciousness will allow opening up to resume, which means that you two might really need this time apart, or the non-communication between the two of you is best spent. Really, Kuan Yin entered the Jade Temple to do what? Your own personal, which then affects the planetary healing. This is something then the twin flames are going through on a much larger level. We're just seeing this in particular through the Virgo Collective, which we're all about healing it anyway. When the heart has permission to open, your love is liberated, and you can shine a light into all levels of reality to awaken the truth of all. And don't we know that's the truth? Like at one point, like let's say on a Monday, you're just like, I hope they die and suffer for all eternity. And by Wednesday, you're like, oh, they're blessed and they fight. And it's okay. It's all that and a side of fries. You're allowed to feel all of it, but that's what liberating love is. Whether your heart is in that more loving, forgiving place or not, the answer is still the same. Love your heart no matter what you're feeling. Just don't always act on exactly what your heart is feeling all the time, right? This mantra is ideal for learning how to believe in yourself, right? That when your heart opens, that's actually guidance of some kind. Promoting self-realization, which is what a lot of this twin flame stuff is about, and integrating the shadow. In other words, gotta let yourself feel the end. I love them and I hope they suffer every day. You know what I mean? Because it's all of that on a side of fries. It's all of that. We came in for the human experience, and what does it more than a twin flame, a transformer? We can really call them crucible contracts, but unless people would sign up for them, I'm sure just the Arthur Miller reference alone, all the witches would flee to the hills again. Well, so let me put this together for you, and we'll see what else shows in the larger picture. Take a nice deep breath, my Virgs. Magic clap. Bam. Because we've got a divine feminine gambler here. The shadow attribute, relying on luck rather than hard work. The light attribute, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. And certainly with the angel of abundance there, I have a feeling that this gambler might be taking a risk in belief that they can have what they want. Like, what else do we think of abundance is? Hopefully it's the abundance of that which is wanted rather than unwanted. But how often is the risk itself what the soul needs, right? To gamble on intuition rather than purely what the eyes see. And if you look at the card, the gambler is actually blindfolded. So what they want out of this gamble in this contract is success. Of course they want success. They want to, throw the right dice, pull the right cards, make the right moves for a success, but for a success under handicap. There does feel like there is some, perhaps, debt or at least psychic weight, physical trauma, something going on here slowing down the process. And again, that could just be what's going on planet Earth right now in general. That this somehow created even more of a success because of the handicaps that have been applied. Or if you don't want to use that metaphor of handicaps just because it is a Special Olympics race, the challenges that come to make what? Balance. It is, after all, the Six of Pentacles. But what they have to do that is the Eight of Flames. They're going to have to really use their passion and move quickly. Like, they have the ability to actually balance this rather quickly. Now, looking at that Eight of Flames next to this, that success might be a matter of timing too, but to take that risk, that gamble, right? And their mind is being wicked critical of this. This is what makes me think that easily this gambler could be the Virgo here, with that Nine of Blades, that criticism, that focusing on maybe what they've done wrong. Well, I can't do that because if I do that, because I did that, I can't do that, and I can't. And really, I don't want to say that time is ticking out here, but how long can that kind of Eight of Flames passion if that's the intuition telling them against all other odds, do it. And with that card of abundance, it can say even their intuitive hits as the divine feminine gambler can be jump, jump, even though the Fool card isn't here, take the risk, right? Life is risk, because in the and there's another aspect of this. The Mother of Blades, Libra, the North Wind. Yes, this relationship is in their emotions. No question, there's an emotional bond here, but there is an issue about balance and fairness and what, as the card Liberating Love spoke of, dealing with the shadow, balancing the shadow, embracing the shadow, giving love even to that. So there is probably a bit of a gas break, and there is probably a bit of an unfair past in this relationship, really affecting the gambler, at least emotionally, but kind of looking at the divine masculine hedonist here, has that very same card, the Libra card, in the position of fire, what they want. So there's definitely unfinished business here. This has to be balanced out. This has to be done honestly, right? Fairly, honorably, all of that. And again, the side of fries, because we have the Pele card. It feels like pressure is building up within this gambler. It's going to be harder and harder with each day that passes. It's going to be harder and harder and harder to not at least say something, to either release the pent-up anger because the heart has not been opened yet and still needs to rest and still needs to heal, and blessed be, that's part of the enter the Jade Temple within your own soul, right? Call to Kuan Yin for that healing, that emotional healing that is already underway. Remember, the expression of emotions are usually the sign of transformation and healing, particularly painful emotions. It's already underway. Like popping a zit. Horrible metaphor, but it works. Sorry, it's a simile, not a metaphor. But with that light ship Earth, you gotta get that everybody's going through this some way, shape, or form in their twin flame contracts, right? So I get that. The pressure is building. It is volcanic, but, you know, give yourself the space to handle all of that, to liberate that love. And in the meantime, if possible, show simple acts of kindness, even from the divine feminine point of view with that gambler. Is it's like, well, maybe the kindest thing I could do is just to leave them alone right now. But is that really the risk? I could say with this fire, this 8 of flames that they have, you wait too long, you might lose your fire to do that, although not so much with the 5 of flames in the soul position, but we'll see. 4, jumping over to the hedonist here, we've got the shadow attribute, pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. This is somebody who really feels like who could change direction very easily and be just like, you know what, I'm going to focus my energies elsewhere. You get your act together. Very divine masculine in a hedonist sense. Meowing at nothing upstairs. The light attribute inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself. And with that angel of music there, what would the angel of music do? Like I said, kind of guide them through this particular album, right, of the songs playing in their life. But also, if there is any sort of musical inspiration, motivation kind of deal here, the hedonist is going to get through this somehow with music, maybe transitioning from one song to the next. Like a good album will take you on a journey, sort of a musical hints and tips in the mind as well as on the radio and elsewhere, if people still listen to radio. What they want, the King of Wands, they just want this to be fair. They really want the truth. Then if there's been some deception and weirdness going on here, then they want it to kind of like, oh, say, well, according to the law, we're going to balance this out. I need to see clearly where everything is on this, or at least that's what they want in order for it to be fair. And what they have is the 4 of Wands. Honestly, it feels like they're in the upper hand here in terms of the 4 of Wands. They may not have the passion to set this thing on fire and find out the truth, but they're willing to sit back and watch as things unfold. They're okay where they are right now, and they are contemplating this contract in terms of the world, in terms of the end of it, that maybe this has balanced out, maybe karma is resolved, maybe this is done, or at least this chapter, this phase of it is, and hence that rest that they have is a wonderful wonderful thing they can do to help heal themselves. The High Priestess in the water position, though, means that they might be having all sorts of other feelings going on here that they are not letting on, maybe to anyone, but probably themselves. There's just always that secret part of it, but maybe that High Priestess, I mean, this is where all the major arcana cards, this is where the major arcana cards are in this spread. It's on the divine masculine hedonist side here. So with the world and the High Priestess, they might be feeling some stuff intuitively here too, right? Their own healing is underway with that entering the Jade Temple, and perhaps is tapping into more of that light ship Earth, that their personal healing is part of a planetary healing. So I just find it a very, very interesting thing that in the area of the soul, they're like, well, right now, you're not supposed to know what to do. 2 of Wands is a fine place to be. Do I take the quest or do I stay and heal a little bit more, right? Do I say yes or do I say no? Right now, what is wanted, the soul's not really letting on, saying feel both of them, because at least mentally you're seeing this as the end of something. As to what comes next, kind of feels like with that show simple acts of kindness is in the hands of the gambler there to extend in some way before this passion within them dies out. A very, very tricky relationship here with that entering the Jade Temple. It may not appear it, but there's healing going on already for both of them, and that their healing is most likely affecting each other, but not in the ways that soulmates would help each other heal, right? Sort of this distance thing, like twins going through the same thing. You're both feeling the same pain, right? But not necessarily can you help each other heal that pain in the relationship, but as one of you heals, quantumly all of us heal, and therefore to show simple acts of kindness to yourself as well, to allow yourself to liberate those love, right? The love within you, to allow yourself to receive all the fulfillment you're willing to give, maybe through prayer, right? Maybe through praying for the other, maybe for praying for yourself, but regardless, moving into that interior space to heal yourself, to learn to love yourself, to learn to heal yourself here is the best thing and the best decision either one of you can make for this twin flame at this point. And really for any twin flame at any point, I realize as that flew out my mouth, I always hear the divine kind of saying that last bit right before I end the overview thing. But we'll have to see. I mean, if you want, go follow me over to the extended reading. There'll be a preview at the end of this video, but that's when we'll be using the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, which has cards in it like commitment and floating on air and true love and romance and enjoyment, as well as rules and specialness and infidelity, right? So that's what I mean. Like in the, plus we're going to cross deck. You'll see in the preview. But otherwise, wishing the Virgo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs all that they need in this twin flame contract to heal, to learn, to become the best that they can be, to enter the Jade Temple, to heal for themselves and connect to the unity, to feel the unity of it all, that as they heal this contract within themselves, fulfilling it, it's helping the world, and to show the simple acts of kindness, maybe to whoever the other one is here, but particularly to yourself, as you liberate love with this magnificent mantra. I allow myself to receive all the fulfillment I'm willing to give, even if that means loving my own heart, healing my own heart, giving myself that so it can be given to all for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is a powerful blessing for a very powerful twin flame contract, no question. A gambler and a hedonist. Good luck with that. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out the preview, and if you want, jump over to Vimeo. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed, my Virgos. I love you. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be. Hey, my Virgos. Welcome to the extended reading for this knockdown, drag-out, twin flame contract read we've got here for August, September 2020, or timeless. There's quite a bit on the table. Am I looking forward to this one? I'm interested. I want to see how this plays itself out, because honestly, I try not to look at myself too closely in the readings that I do, but like I said, I can understand this one if it flip-flop, but that also means that perhaps right now I am playing the divine masculine role and I'm used to playing the divine feminine role in this contract, but we shall see. Now, like I said, we are going to be cross-decking, if I didn't say that before. We're going to be using the Daughters of the Moon for the divine masculine and the Mythic Tarot for the divine feminine to do simple timeline, past, present, future, where they've been, where they are, where they're headed in this twin flame contract according to the guidance and grace of the gods and goddesses. Shall we take a nice deep breath? Let's get into this. I'm interested. My gods. Please, simple timeline. 3 cards for this gambler archetype in this Virgo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for August, September 2020 or timeless. Where have they been? Please, a card of the past. Where has this divine feminine gambler been? Where are they now in this contract? It's all contract related. Like what clause, what subcategory, and where are they headed in this twin flame contract? August, September 2020. We'll get the same for the divine masculine hedonist, but with the Daughters of the Moon. And then, as before, we will flip them over, I guess, past, present, future. See what the comparison and contrasting vibrations are. Breathe. See, that just feels very different. My goddesses, please, one card in clarity for this divine masculine hedonist archetype. Like that, my heart feels soothed. What's going on here? Please, where has this hedonist been in this Virgo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract? August, September 2020 or timeless. That's where they've been. Where are they now in this contract? We'll take that top card. And please, where are they headed? Jumped right in my hands. There we go. All right. Let's look. Just making some room. Past. Where have they been in this contract? Oh, very different. I would say very different places. The Divine Feminine Gambler has got the card of the Sun, so lots of clarity, lots of healing, lots of moving forward. Talking about shaking the dice and stealing the rice with the light on your side, at least coming from this place of really knowing what they want, really seeing the whole picture, being very clear, and yet still so much of that critical focus going on here. Perhaps had a moment of enlightenment, of clarity. Remember, Apollo is this is Apollo. I mean, not necessarily a Virgo card in some ways, I suppose. But really not earth fire, right? More that Leo energy. Of something really beautiful here, something very, very beautiful, very, very inspired, something very, very clear and very healthy, at least started this with. And what the divine masculine hedonist here is coming from a place of the Five of Cups, storm, not just emotional conflict necessarily, but some spilled cups, right? Some tumult here. Definitely some tumultuous emotional stuff going on here. It does put them at a certain inequity of each other in the past year, hence the need for balance here. I'm not sure exactly how that translates. I mean, I do get when the Sun card appears in every spread, and this is true, it's from Patty McLean from a video called Secrets of the Tarot, narrated by Christopher Lee. You can catch it on YouTube. You can find it for free. So everybody says that. It's like, because that's where that comes from. I had that video back in the 90s when it was out on VHS. I used to use it as part of my teaching when I taught tarot. So this card of the Sun, right? Perhaps entered into this, or where they've been in this country, been a much healthier place, much clearer place, but still a lot of fire here on this side, where there has probably been some big emotional tumult here, hence why this divine masculine is sort of like womp womp. Perhaps this is over. I really, at least based on the past, do not want to go through those tumultuous emotions again. Now look, you have to feel it to heal it. We've got liberating love here and entering the Jade Temple. So I'm going to say the healing is already underway, and the painful emotions are a sign that the healing is actually taking place. So just keep that in mind as we now move in to the present position.